Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be talking about HTML form attributes. But before moving to the main tutorial, I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share it to friends and family, like our Facebook page, join our Facebook group, join our Telegram channel, and let me bring you the latest update. Vicsad Academy is now on Vicsad, so we are calling on all viewers, fans, and everybody to follow us on Vicsad. And apart from that, we also want you people to follow us on LinkedIn, because we are now on LinkedIn. So now Vicsad Academy has 6 social media platforms in which you can get to them. The Facebook page, in which we asked you to like, and we believe that you are going to like it. The Facebook group, you should join it. Also the Telegram channel, the LinkedIn account, the Vicsad account, and the Instagram. So follow us on Instagram, and don't forget to also visit our website, where you can learn about more of this coding and back it up with our YouTube videos, in which are very explanatory and very wonderful. So let's go there. Today we'll be talking about the HTML form attributes. So guys, first of all, we would like to define HTML form attributes. So before we move on, I would like to tell you that the Vicsad, in which Vicsad Academy and a lot more that we are working on is under, has a new logo, and which is this. You are looking at the Windows environment, the VS. You can see it's a very wonderful logo. So you can comment about the logo in the comment section below, because we are all waiting for your comments. We want you to comment about the logo in the comment section below. So guys, back to the tutorial. We want to talk about the HTML form attribute. So what do we mean by the HTML form attribute? We've talked about the attribute and a lot of that before. So the HTML form attribute can be defined as attributes. It's their attributes, that allows or that enhance the function, features of the HTML form, meaning it makes the HTML form to perform more things than its normal way. It adds some powers, some energies that will make the HTML form to perform a lot more things than it could perform as its normal or in its default way. So let me come again. The HTML form attributes are attributes that allows the HTML form to perform extra functions, features, and a lot more. That's just it. That makes it perform extra features, extra functions. It makes it go beyond its border. Things it could not do as a default tag or element, it makes it do it. So guys, first of all, we'll be talking about the HTML action attributes. So let's go there. So let's talk about the HTML form action attributes. So before we move on, in everything we must put God first. So let's just thank God and say, Daddy, thank you for this tutorial. Jesus, we thank you. So back to this tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be talking about the HTML form attributes. And before I open my Visual Studio Code and my Chrome and everything, let's just define HTML action attribute, HTML form action attribute, because I believe you are jotting something down so that you can reference back to that you jot those notes for in the future. So what do we call the HTML form action attribute? The HTML form action attribute is used to specify where the data of the form is to be sent to after the submission of the form. Let me come again. The HTML action attribute is used to specify where the data of the form is to be sent to after the submission of the form. So what do I mean? The HTML action attribute is just trying to make the HTML form to be able to send the data that is received inside the form to a particular place, location, or to a particular page, a particular web page, or whatever. But as we move on, I believe you begin to understand what I mean by this. This means that the action that should be performed immediately the form is submitted. What do I mean by this again? It means that immediately we click on the submit button, the action attribute will take place. It will be triggered, and then it will perform its own function. This is the action of sending the form to a URL. This is because the action attribute takes in a URL as a value. So let's stop there. What do we mean by this? We mean that the action attribute, when it's submitted, it makes use of the URL. Because why? This is because the action attribute takes in a URL as a value, meaning the attribute can collect value, and the value it collects is URL, uniform resource locator link. So it takes in a link and then it will submit the form to the link. It will carry the data of the form and then take it to that page. How will you locate the page? Through the URL link. So it needs a link to locate the page, and when it gets to the page it will drop the data there. Then you as a coder or a developer will now know what to do with the data that it is sent to that page. So let's go back here. So we've talked about the HTML form, and for us to make use of this HTML form, we have to do some basic HTML form, like the opening and the closing tab, putting the input tag, which we've talked about in the last tutorials. And if you have not watched the last tutorials, by God's grace we'll put it in the description section below. We'd love you to click on the link and then watch the video. So let's go there, let's do some magic, something wonderful. Yeah, okay. Guys, first of all, I cleared off everything. You know, we did a lot of things in the last tutorial. In fact, in the last tutorial it was up to 1 hour plus, and you know, it was the how can I call it, this is a very heavy video, so you have to watch it. So now I've done the opening and the closing body tag, and inside we are going to put our form, in which everybody knows, and if you don't know, then I think you need to go and watch the basics of HTML. Okay guys, so now first of all, you know, the name of this video is HTML form attributes, meaning every attribute we are going to be talking about in this video is inside the opening form tag. The opening form tag, meaning even though the action attribute will be here, and remember we said that the action attribute takes in a value, and the value is what? The value is what? Oh shit. The value is URL. It takes in the URL. Yeah. So am I communicating with you people? And before we move on, I'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll always be seeing it, because this thing is not gonna take anything from you, but you are just listening to support us and you yourself. Because when you subscribe to the our YouTube channel, you get the videos about us. So let's move on. Now, meaning it is URL that will be here. It takes in URL as a value, and remember that those URL are HTTPS. And apart from taking this URL as a value, if we put a page that's inside, or we can also release it back to any page, putting it inside that link and putting anything like URL, all those stuffs like that, it will take it, because the default value it takes is a URL. So please, let's just create a simple basic HTML form. Sorry. So let's make use of the comments. Yeah, so let's put first name. So you just want to create a simple HTML document, a simple HTML syntax stuff routine. So you just want to do that. Let's put password. So yeah, we're not gonna put anything here because I want to show you the default value it can accept. You get my point? So right now, Control S, I'm gonna come back to our website page and then reload it. So we can see two input field where you can input informations or data. So first of all, we have to make use of the break out tag, like break tag. So now we have broken it. Then just have to put some text here. So what am I going to put here? First name, then password here. So we want it to be like the one we did in the last tutorial, so I'm going to make use of the break tag again. So put it here, put it here, Control S, and then come back to refresh our page. Yeah guys, that's wonderful. This is really wonderful. Yeah guys, so the next one I want to do is I want to make use of the action attribute, and we want to make our form more suitable, more good, and more complete. So I'm going to put this one in type as text. We talked about this in those are last tutorial or the last two tutorials, so if you don't know it, I think we should put the link in the description section below. Yeah, so I'm gonna give this as F. Yeah, we should put this Control S, then I'll come back to make this more interesting because it's not correct. Yeah, so I'll come back here to give it a input type value of password, and then so I'm not going to give this any value because we have talked about this in those last tutorial that if we can give it a value and then when we save it and then go and refresh it, that will be the value that is there. So refresh it and see that that's the value that is there. So we just have to take it up because we want our users to put in their own value. So I'm just going to make it empty, just like the way the password value attribute is empty. Yeah, so I'm going to input my first name and my password, but it means one last thing we've not done, and that is saving. So submit button, sorry, that's what we allow it to be saved or to be to make the data to be collected and sent to a particular URL, which uniform resource locator. So yeah, submit button. Guys, sorry for this, I'm not used to this keyboard. So I want to make this tutorial as short as possible. I don't want to really take our time, so I'm trying my best. So let's just complete this by giving this a value of submit. Then I'm gonna give this submit. I'm gonna give this okay, let's just make this short, no, normal way, lowercase. Yeah, so I'm going to come back here, refresh the page, and then we're going to make use of the break tag. Yeah, so I'm going to fill the form, and after filling the form I'm going to submit it. So after submitting it, so we're going to check, and I'm going to make my explanation about the action attributes. So let's go there and go and fill the form. Okay guys, I'm here right now, so I'm going to refresh the page, and then the BR tag has worked. So I think we should just give it another BR tag to make it more looking good. Yeah, Control S. Then I'm going to come back here and refresh the page. Yeah, so I'm filling this. Okay, it's showing some autocomplete, but just leave that. So I'm going to Vicsad. Password of I'm just giving password. So I'm going to submit this now. An action has taken place. And how did the action take place? The action took place because the moment we clicked on the submit button, it sends the data collected from the HTML form back to that same page. So that is why it accepts the uniform resource locator. So the moment we put in a particular uniform resource locator, that is where it's going to send it to. But since there is no uniform resource locator there, then it's going to make use of the same page as its default. So this is the default of the action attribute. So right now I'm going to create a new page, and after creating a new page, inside that new page I'm going to call the name of the new page inside this. So let's go there. So let's come back here and create a new page. Oh, sorry. So Ctrl S, I'm going to call it action.html. So I'm going to save it. So right here I'm going to give it action.html. And then I'm going to come back here, refresh the page, and then try it all again. So let's Vicsad, my password. Can you see that right now we are already in action.html from index.html? So back here we are in index.html. I submitted the form and then it took me to action.html. Can you see action.html? So you can see everything I filled. F name, that first name, Vicsad, password, output is good, and submit is equals to submit. So can you see the function of the action attribute? So the more you use the action attribute and then you give it blah 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 dots, it can also be an HTTP address. When you input it there, it's going to take you there. So when it gets there, maybe you as a programmer or as a developer, you want to make use of those information, then you can begin to work on them on the page I sent it to. Like we can begin to work on them on this page right here. So I believe you people understand the way the action attributes of the HTML form works, and you can see that it has advanced the features and the functions of the HTML form, because right now automatically, even in the last tutorial, the moment we submitted the form, it will always collect the form data and then still sends it back to that same page. We're right there now because of the action attribute. We've sent the data of the HTML form from this index.html to action.html, even though there is nothing in the page, on the web page. We have nothing here, Abby. So let's move on to the next one, and that next one is method. So guys, the last earlier, sorry, I wanted to say the last one we talked about. Yeah, the last one we talked about was HTML form action attribute, but the one we're talking about right now, in which I just mentioned earlier, was is HTML form method attribute. So what is the HTML form method attribute? The HTML form method attribute is a type of attribute that specifies the HTTP submission method that has been used to submit the form. So what do I mean by this? It means a way, or how do we want to submit the form. So the HTML form action attribute is where do we want to submit the form. Do we want to submit it in https / blah 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 at gmail.com, google.com, vicsadacademy.com, no, yeah, or we want to submit it at actionpage.com, like, no, whatever we did here. But the method attribute is how do we want to submit it. Do you want to submit it well packaged? Do you want to submit it using the basic subscription, the classic subscription, blah blah blah? I was just trying to make use of some other things, but that's not how we submit. That's not how the method attribute works in the HTML form. It has its own values. It does not use anything like the basic, So I'm just trying to make you understand some things. So let me come again with the definition. The method attribute specify the HTTP submission method that has been used to submit the form, and I've told you that it is how you want to submit the form. Do you want it to be in color green? Do you want it to be in color red? But before we move on, I want you to know that it is not in color green, it's color red. But the only two values the HTML form method attributes accepts is post and get, or get and post. Those are the two values, and I'm going to be making very deep explanation about them. So just continue watching the video as I begin to reveal the secret of these HTML form attributes. You know what, this is like a way or process by which you want the form collected from users to be sent through the HTTP to the given URL in the action attribute. Now I've told you. So meaning the HTML method and the action attributes works in hand, and I've told you that the action attribute accepts URL, but we did not give it a URL. I hope you know, because we don't put the HTTP the way we just give it a page. Meaning it can also accept a page, but it is more advisable for you to accept a URL. So are you getting me? The HTTP and the action attribute and method attribute works together, because the action is where do you want it to go, and the method is how do you want it to go there. And that's why I told you that this is like a way of process by which you want the form collected from users to be sent through the HTTP to the given URL in the action attribute. This is the way of process in which you want the form collected to be sent to users. Okay, and I told you that the two values it can accept is the get and the post attribute values. So let's go there. Let's make use of the method. Yeah, so that's just the method. So what next now is to put in the value. So is that we give it get or we should give it post? But I just want to make a very deep explanation about this post and get, because I've made a very deep explanation about the method attribute itself. So I want to talk about the values. Now the default values is accept is get, and let me explain get. The get method value can be defined as a type of HTML form method attribute that when used allows the form to add the information sent to be added. Oh sorry, it's just mistake. That information sent should be added to the end of the URL and also to be easy to be seen. Do you get my point? The information sent should be added to the URL and also to be easily to be seen. So let me just show you a very good example of the HTML form method attribute having the value of get. So back to this our page. Now when I sent the information, my first name, my password, and also the submit, you can see it in the URL. So how can this data be collected? How do you want it to be collected, and how do you want it to land on the page is what we mean by method. So the way we want it to be collected is that when it is collected, we want it to show in the URL, and that's what is happening here. Meaning the method has a value of get, and that's why we can see all these values, because it has a default value of get. Meaning the post, which is the opposite, it won't allow all this to show. And you know one thing, there are some characteristics of this get value of a thing, the HTML form get method value. So what are the characteristics? The main characteristics is that the name and the value that you use inside your HTML input form will be shown, in which you can see it here. So let me just show you here. Note this is the name is f name, and then the value is what I'll input there, that is Vicsad. So meaning it's gonna be showing f name Vicsad, and that's what you can see here. You can see now f name Vicsad, so it's going to be showing it. And that characteristics is that it is how can I put it, it does not accept a lot of characters. Yes, the HTML form get method value is limited to some amount of characters, and that is 2048 characters. So any characters passing 2048 here is not going to work with the method get. I get my point. Another thing is that you should never send sensitive information using the method get. Sensitive information like password. You could see when I was typing my password there, nobody knows what I was typing, but you can see it here. Apple is good, even though I made some mistakes. Yeah, so Apple is good, and I gave it submit equals to submit. So you get my point. The password is showing, and then if we are building a Facebook website and then we are giving a method to get, and then someone is inputting this some input into our password, then we're going to see the password here. And then if someone is around beside he or she, the person, if it's very sensitive and knows about this computer programming and coding, can just know the users that is registering to Facebook password immediately, because the method is having a value of get. Can you see that? You cannot use the method value for sensitive information. It shows the name and the values, and it's also it's limited to some characters. You get my point? So I'm gonna give it get, even though right now it's in post and we've not reload the page. So I'm gonna give it a get, and I'm gonna refresh the page. I'm gonna fill the form again. Let me use happen, and then let me use so it takes me to the next page because I've given it the action attribute, and then let's see how the method attribute, in which we call how do we want the form to be delivered. So we want it to be delivered using the get value inside the method attribute, and the get values allows everything that is sent to be in the end of the URL. So this is the end of the URL, and you can start seeing it. This is where the URL is, so you can begin to see it. Wow, so my name is Apple, my password is giveaway, and submit is equals to submit. So that is how the method get works. So let's move on to the one of post, and I told you that the opposite of post is what? The opposite of get is post, and post does not allow it to be shown in the URL. So let's just change here and give it post. So I'm gonna come back here, refresh the page, and also come back here and also refresh the page. So I'm gonna give my first name as so just give this. I'm gonna give my password. So I'm gonna submit it. Now submitted my form, and the action attribute has taken the data from the form and then sent it to the next page, and right now I'm in the next page, and I'm not going to go into the next page. But there's one thing, I cannot see the sensitive information that I sent, my password, my first name, and blah blah blah. So you can see that there's nothing, only the URL is here, and that is why the post method is very good, because it is, never allows something to be sensitive information cannot be secretly or cannot be easily seen. Cannot be easily seen, and it is limitless. Yes. So those are the characteristics. Number one is limitless. It does not have maybe 2048 characters. It can be as long, and you will not even see anything that is as long, because you only see the URL. And number two is, you can send secure or sensitive information. Your information are secure. All the security, like your credit card pin, your password, everything can be sent using the method post, because why? It does not show it in the URL, and it is not easy for people to copy those sensitive information. If you have the URL, if you have the method and that's the value of get, then it is easy for me to copy it through here, but I cannot copy any sensitive information or any data that is sent from the HTML form, because why? It is not showing right here. So are you getting my point? But I just want to show you something, because you'll be wondering that where is now the everything we sent. Where is it? I'm gonna show you. So guys, let me show you. Control Shift I. So that is inspect element. So I can just take this up and come and inspect element. Yeah, we're gonna come to network, and then we're gonna refresh the page. Yeah, but I can just use my Control Shift I. It's still gonna take me there, but at most cases it will be here. So you just have to move to the network and then refresh the page. So I'm right here, refresh the page, and then click on this. So I'm back here. So you can see everything. My first name is Hazard. My password is Happy Jesus, and submit is submit. But you know that normal people cannot easily know. It's only the developers, the coders like me and you, that can know that yes, I can access your password and your credit card pin. Just coming to this inspect element using Control Shift I, or just coming here and clicking on inspect element, like right click. Right click, just right click, inspect element, also Control Shift I, and then you get here. Do you get my point? So normal people, normal users that are friendly with the website, then cannot know that it is here, and that is why it is a secret. So if you believe it's still a secret, just comment it in the comment section below. Like secret. So just two things right now. Comment about our logo, the Vicsad logo. Is it wonderful? Is it great? Just comment about it, and just comment secret. Just secret, to be sure that yes, I'm keeping that a secret. So that's all about this method attribute. So we're going to be moving to the autocomplete attribute, and the autocomplete attribute, I've been seeing it in work, but I'm still going to talk about it to make you understand how the autocomplete attribute really works. So let's go there. So we want to talk about the autocomplete. Yeah, the autocomplete. And so when we talk about the autocomplete, I want you to know that the autocomplete attribute indicates whether autocomplete should be turned on or off for a certain form. So meaning the autocomplete, with just the name, you can define it. Auto, it should just happen by itself. It does not need manual. It does not need for you to take step 1, step 2. Automatically, without anybody's help, it's going to perform that function. And what's that the function? Complete. Meaning it should automatically, without anybody help, it should help you to complete it. It should help you to bring suggestions that can help you to complete it. And I've told you that I'm seeing the autocomplete attribute in work, in action. And I'll come with the definition again. Autocomplete attribute indicates whether autocomplete should be turned on or off for a certain form. The autocomplete has the default value of on, meaning is always on, and that is why I told you that I'm seeing the autocomplete in work, because the default value is on. So let's come back here, and then I'm gonna clear this off, and I want to type something. You can see autocomplete is trying to bring out these suggestions. Can you see? So the moment I begin to type apple, it's going to bring apple out. That is the work of the autocomplete. So because seeing me typing apple is bringing out the apple, and that's work of autocomplete, and that's why I told you that the autocomplete is in work. It's working. I'm seeing it right in work. I'm seeing his actions. So let's just give the value of auto the attribute of autocomplete, and that's 2 values in which Visual Studio Code is already showing me off on. It has a default value of on. Control S, and then we come back and refresh the page. Nothing changes in the autocomplete because that is the default. So when I begin to write as that, you can see it's bringing out that for me because the autocomplete is on. And then when I clear that one, I put OFF Control S and come back here to refresh the page. So can you see it's not bringing out anything? So if I should type apple, I want to type apple, it's not bringing out anything because the autocomplete is off. And that's just the work of the autocomplete. It's a very attribute that is very helpful and not really hard to use, because everything I'm talking about right here is not really hard to use. I talked about the action, I talked about the action attribute, the method attribute, the autocomplete attribute. In the action attribute, I told you accept URL. In the method, it accepts 2 values, the post and the get. In the autocomplete, accepts 2 values, off and on. And the last but not the least is the no validate. So how does the no validate work? So let me just define the no validate for you. It indicates that when form data input is submitted, it should not be validated. When form data input is submitted, it should not be validated. So meaning even when the thing does not seems right, it should still accept it that way. Even when it does not seems like you want it to be that it does not the one you want it to be there, you should just accept it that way. So a very good oh sorry, this was a mistake. So a very good example I'm going to use is I'm going to put in a value called how can I call it, a attribute, an HTML input attribute called required, and we're going to be talking about required in some other tutorials. So Control S, I'm going to put here no validates. I'm going to refresh the page. So I'm going to put apple. I'm trying to make some practical example for you to understand, and then I'm going to submit the page. Yes, it's submitted using the method post, so it's not going to show in the URL. And apart from that, I don't put anything inside the password, so there's nothing submitted for the password. There's no value for the password. So right now I'm going to clear off the no validate, because you can see I'm trying to make a very good illustration for you. The HTML input text has a attribute called required, in which I told you we're going to talk about later in some tutorials. And then right now I'm going to put my password. So I'm going to submit. Yeah. So let's check whether I've saved, because I'm trying to do some practical example and right now I'm not seeing it. Okay, so save. Ctrl S. I'm gonna come back here, refresh the page, and then can you see? That's what I'm trying to make you understand, that please fill out this field. So why is it trying to tell me that I should please fill out this field? Because of I have an attribute called required, and I told you that it in the no valid, which we are based on right now, is in the case when from data input is submitted, it should not be validated. So that place is required. We must fill it, even though you are filling the password. Meaning I can just forget about the password and then submit it. To not tell me to but I just have to fill this out, and that's why I just write copy. Let's just write anything and then submit. You see, it goes, because the password is not having that attribute called required, but I'm going to put in an attribute inside the HTML form, and the name of the attribute is no validate attribute. So lowercase, sorry. So I'm going to refresh the page, and right there I'm not going to put anything there. I'm going to just put nonsense here, and I'm going to submit. So the question is, will it submit or it will not submit? Wow, it's submitted. And that's what I was trying to prove to you, that the no validate will just make every law go useless except from his own law, because it believes that the input type and the input tag are under him. These tags are under him, so everything it says, the input type is text, and that's the attribute called required, meaning you must do it. But see, that is the overall head is staying inside the overall head tag, like the parent tag, the parent element. It's trying to make them understand that no, you are using required, mine is not required. Whether you fill the form or you don't, just pass. You get my point? Just submit your form, and then I'm going to carry your data using the method and the action attribute, blah blah blah, to get it to the next level. So even the input type, which is having a value of text, is carrying something known as the required attribute, meaning you must fill that form. But yet the HTML form has an attribute called the no validate, and it overrides all those ones, all others attributes inside the HTML input element or tag. So can you see the no valid tag, the no valid attribute at work? I don't know, I just make mistakes, so just please pardon me. So can you see the no valid attribute at work? And I hope you like this tutorial. I mean, you like the video. Yeah, so if you haven't, just stop the video, just go just move out of the video right now, and then like the video, just like it, then wait, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yes, click on that subscription button. I'm watching you, just click on it. Yeah, so after clicking on it, it means one thing: share it to your friends and family, so that they can know about coding, they can know about HTML markup language. And one last thing, yeah, but this is not the least, but this is the last one. Comment about the video. So making 3, comment about the video, comment about the Vicsad logo, and also comment whether what I showed you about the inspect element is a secret. So just write secret, comment about the new logo, and also comment about this video. Love you all. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Bye.